Will you just be a grown-up, please? Hi, I'm host Eric, host Talking with Famous People. And it's time for you and me and everybody to grow up. I'm tired of all this immaturity. That's it. That's all I got to say. Quick live stream. Over in 6 seconds. Quickest live stream west of the Mississippi. See, this way, it's like I'm wearing a mask, but instead of a mask, it makes it harder for me to be understood. It's a mask of light. I have a mask of light to prevent COVID from spreading. Anyhow, it's time for you to grow up, viewer, whoever you are. Stop acting like a child. We're going to be grown-ups around here from now on. I have to apparently stop acting like a child and be a grown-up. So you have to too. I'm not going to do it all by myself. God. I'm so sick of it. All the immaturity and childishness everywhere I look. It makes me want to say, hey, you better knock that off. That squirrel is stealing one of our Asian pears. Oh, you naughty squirrel. You better grow up, squirrel. I'm tired of your immaturity. Squirrels are so immature. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. They need to grow up. Be more adult-like. God. The number one thing that we all need to do in the world, we should all are accountable for, we need to just grow up. Okay? No more childishness. Do INFPs have high ego or get angry on criticism? INFPs get angry when you give them conclusions, firm conclusions that like, well, this is it. And then even then they get probably sad more than they get angry.
Oh, do you want me to close the, is it coming from there? The blinds?
I know I'm enjoying having the opportunity to wear a mask of light.
Oh, it's coming. Yeah, it is.
So it's like I'm COVID safe, but without having to wear a regular mask.
Hey, Joey. What's up, loving amazing facts? I'm here today with host Eric to talk about cognitive functions and what they do to our brains.
And today, our number one message is everybody just needs to grow up.
Oh my God. Like, don't you understand? It's 2020. Like, grow up.
We're tired of people being so immature around here with their immaturity.
So immature. I saw, like, a peacock out there, and he was being so immature. I told him that he should not be on the porch, and he knew it, and he still was there.
So immature.
So immature.
So anyway, today we're talking about how being a grown-up, being mature, taking things seriously, being earnest all the time, never doing anything unhealthy or questionable or controversial, you know? Don't we have enough problems without you creating more controversy? I think so. A grown-up creates no controversy. Just goes along with everything. That's what it requires. That's what's required to be a grown-up. So, anyway, Joey's a grown-up. You can see.
Yeah, because he says
no.
No.
That's it.
That's it. No.
Love
you don't have to say
facts?
anything else after that.
Love amazing facts? You need to grow up, okay? Asking questions, saying hi. That's childish.
And, like, are you, like, love amazing facts because you love facts? Or, like, are you love amazing facts? Like, you know, like, amazing facts about, like, love? Like, because, like, honestly, you need to grow up.
You need to grow up. Okay. Listen. Just because we're from California doesn't mean that we're using a volleyball.
Oh my God,
okay?
like, Joey, like, you have, like,
that's such a stereotype.
That's so judgmental.
It's so immature.
Oh my God, it's so immature. Like, why is your opinion about my smoking? Like, I've been smoking since I was, like, 16.
You're just immature, Joey.
Yeah.
Stop being immature.
Yeah. I have one more for you, Joey.
No more immaturity allowed. God.
I've been smoking since I was like 16, so like tell your mom to go lick her face.
I already told his mom.
Oh, you did?
I told her last night.
Thank you. Yeah. ate her face.
I went over to return this book I had borrowed.
You have a.
I walked in and
have,
Joey's mom was in there
That's
anally
cool.
gaping. I was
That's
like,
cool,
I don't want to
love
see in there, Joey's mom.
That's
Gape
cool.
on-
Love amazing facts.
Gape on your own time.
I appreciate your Instagram. That's great.
Did you address the problem issue? I don't think so. My point is,
You just like need to grow up.
oh, that's right. I forgot my point. I'm gonna just call you ooh, okay?
You need to grow up.
I am so tired of you being so immature about everything.
Like for real.
Okay, look, don't disagree with me, because that really, it's like, hold on, stop being so angry and aggressive at me.
Oh my god.
Just everyone just agree with me, and then we won't have any problems. God.
Oh my god, you need to grow up. Oh. You said intelligence is a composite of skill set. It is not a composite of habits.
Okay, well, let me respond to
Grow
that.
up.
Let me
Did you
respond to
know
that
it's a
then.
composite
Fine.
of both?
What I'm saying is those habits largely comprise, those skill sets largely comprise actual correlates with attentional habits. So, for example, introverted thinking, which is, say, deductive reasoning or logic, is an expression of introverted thinking. The verbal reasoning kind of parts of the test TI directly. In other words, conditional logic. So if you have introverted thinking in the first or second slot, you're going to do very well on that. Also, possibly fifth slot or even sixth slot. Sometimes you'll do quite well on it. With scores going down proportional to where TI is in the stack. Now, there's also TE. TE is an interface frame that looks for solvency, empirics, solidity, like physical lengths, rather than meaning. So whether or not you may or may not be a TE or a TI type, I don't know. But what I'm saying is this argument we're having is a TI-TE argument. So you may be a TI user who's arguing on behalf of the TE side, because that certainly happens. TI users can argue on any side of a certain thing. But, and for example, it would be consistent with being a TI user to come in here and say, no, Eric, you're wrong about meow, and try to win the argument. So that's consistent with TI. But the side of the argument you're on, that it doesn't matter if it means anything specific, if it just means a general score on a composite thing. The problem with the composite is this. If I have a composite skill set that I'm measuring with IQ, then it is the case that person A, who scores very high on vector Y and relatively low on vector Z, will score lower in IQ than someone who scores medium high on both of them. So who's actually more intelligent? If you have a composite skill set, like you're saying, then you invariably have that question arise. Who's the smarter person? Is it the one who has the biggest number on one vector, or the biggest combined number on two vectors? How many different vectors are getting measured? These things are all significant questions. It's not just the T's that are getting measured by intelligence. It's also the N's.
Who wants to see bad FE?
Who does?
I'm asking, who wants to see bad FE?
Aren't they seeing it right now? Aren't I in the middle of once again getting into an argument with somebody about something? You're going to demonstrate something? Oh, that's bad FE? You know what, Rachel? That's at worst mediocre FE.
Oh.
In fact, I'm not even sure it's that. It may not just be your finest FE
What
moment,
is it?
but
is that F5? I think that's my version of F5.
I think that's your version of, okay, enough about the meowity meows. But this is not an issue. It's a simple quantitative issue depending on boundary conditions. Right. But see, that's what I'm saying.
Didn't you grow up already?
Ooh, listen to me. Ooh. This is exactly what I'm saying. You think that depending on the boundary conditions is a simple matter to attend to. It's just like, look, we'll have no problem having a perpetual emotion machine. It's just a simple friction issue we got to get rid of.
You're such a bummer.
It's like,
Ooh.
no, fucktard. That invalidates the whole concept.
I love it when Eric says fucktard. It's my favorite.
No offense. I'm sure you're neither fucked nor tard, but you know, it's annoying when people say shit like this because you don't get it. You say, well, just because the definition is arbitrary, it doesn't mean the whole thing's arbitrary. Yes, it does.
Love amazing facts. Do you have a quote for us? A love quote that you can spread to this community?
I want to know, is it amazing facts about love?
Yes.
Or do you love facts that are amazing?
We already established
You've already established this? Okay.
Yeah, like I fucking asked that already. My God, like don't you even listen to me? Like, oh my God, you need to grow up. Yes, she did answer.
Mm-hmm.
She has an Instagram with 3,500 followers about love, inspiring stuff about love.
I'll give you a quote right here. Love facts right now. You can use that. You can take this right to the bank. Love is like a spiny pillow where all the pricks poke holes of gladness. There. I just made it up right now for you. You can take that and make it your own. No, it's a spiny pillow where all the pricks prick holes of gladness rather than wounds.
Oh, okay.
See, it's like if you were to lie your head upon a thorny pillow, it would poke lots of holes in you and blood would come out. But if you imagine instead of each of those wounds replace a splash of gladness.
I mean, I'd be very glad.
Might be a lot of gladness because you're going to get a lot of spines on you.
Ease my trouble.
Ease your trouble with spines.
That's what you do.
That's what they say to do. That's what they told me in relationship school.
These are some definite love quotes here. When you put frames.
When you touch me with your heart, I touch you with my penis. That's another love quote for you. You can just go ahead right there and cop that and just say, when I heard this, my heart melted. It melted inside of me.
Oh my God, you sound like Amanda Knox.
What is this thing I'm looking for?
I don't know.
It's a document that is all about oh yeah. Is it this one? Is it this one? TVT. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to do here is this isn't it. Oh yeah. No, wait, is it? No, it's not. This is not it. I'm getting close though. I've almost found it, everybody. What, it's in coffee?
Champion Quagga.
Well, it's still what I'm looking for, but it's still pretty good. So, okay. So pages 6, 7, 8, and 9 and a little bit at the top of 10 of this document will, if you understand everything on those pages of this document that I made, then if you still disagree with me about the IQ test, then you have some place to start. You can then say, okay, well, you say this here, and it's wrong because, yeah, okay? So I'm going to put you the link to it. Still not exactly what I was looking for, but yeah, I'll join autonomy, sure. Hold on.
Who's asking?
David Sanderson. This one? I already checked this, right? Not that. God damn it. Where is this document? I have trouble finding this document every time I look for it.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, we can't forget to get my medicine.
You're right. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Why can't I fucking find this thing? Why is it called UBI Neg Blocks Master? Why in the world is this called UBI Neg Blocks Master? It never was the UBI Neg Blocks Master. What the? Frames, debates, function bridge.
What happened? You?
I don't know.
The name,
I must have done it, but I don't think it's shared with. It's shared with a bunch of people. Somebody changed the name because I used this in a debate, one topic at one time. So let me get rid of all these people. Make them remove. You don't need access to this document. Remove. 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 All right, this is the document I wanted to send everybody. This is the one I was looking for. It was misnamed. It was difficult to find. But you see, it explains very much what all of this stuff is talking about. What the hell? What's my W stuck again? What a nightmare.
Wait, is Mercury still in retrograde? Oh, I'm sorry.
No. So constricting the boundary condition by which one can be intelligent is wisdom, and that cannot be measured. So like I said, you're confusing wisdom and intelligence as the same thing. No, since you refuse to meaningfully define intelligence with something else that's meaningfully defined, then you are just pushing back. What was your... Okay, well, listen, you mean in the chat on the premiere? Well, you're gonna have to re-put your definition. Look, you just don't understand what how thing. Look. So let's find the thing here. Implicit frames. You are arguing under an implicit frame that you are not aware is defining your argumentation. So this thing says implicit frames. And an argument in a debate round, like any verbalized argument, carries with it the frame that can be inferred from the argument. For example, if I say we should exercise to keep our hearts healthy, one implicit frame, a set of facts that the statement presupposes are not in any dispute, is that maintaining heart health is good. The above statement, reference, I got a list here, use number 3 and 6 as its implicit frame. Preventing harm is good. Once it's established that harm is prevented, its value is not questioned. That there are reasons linked to studies or data and that such information is more reliable than personal experience in determining matters of one's own body is another implicit frame. We can break down every argument as an example of one or more of these implicit frames or values, and they are singularity, that is, say, preferability over alternatives; originality, that is, say, high ceiling potential for greater impacts than known approaches; harm prevention / remediation, this relates actions to outcomes to intentions; representationalism, the intent to which things mirror the general mores and standards of a given population of arguers; relative absolutism, this attains absolute status under certain conditions; absolute relativism, we look to empirics for a more efficient course against outcomes in the status quo. That's the implicit frame you're running. But unlike you, I'm both aware of my own frame and aware of your frame, and I'm aware of how it's controlling your argumentation. So what I'm saying is, if you really want to talk about this seriously, understand that you are simply arguing your presumed frame here. But you need to at least make it explicit, okay? So it says here in the explanation, explicit frames, like we have in debate, show the implicit value of relative absolutism. In other words, logic. Right, so let's have more explanation. Relative absolutism. Under this frame, words are absolute in their expression, but relative in their meaning. So whenever someone says something, those words have precise meanings in that context. They are unchanging meanings, just as the weight of a 1-pound brick is unchanging. However, in another context, one might define the word differently and thus offer that this time the brick is 2 pounds. Once agreed upon, that's what it is for the duration of the exchange. The reality of the brick is just a status that's absolute within that frame, reality, which itself is a brick to be defined for the purposes of making arguments about the relationship between bricks and reality. In contrast, absolute relativism says the meaning of something is absolute to the particular parties and is distinct from the definitional constraints of relative absolutism. Thus, people will often say things like, well, I know I said it that way, but I mean something else. Or you just don't get what I mean. I'm just not expressing it well. This presumes that there is a meaning outside of the precise definition of the word. That's what you're presuming about intelligence, right? RA, relative absolutism, says that if you mean anything at all, you present that meaning in static words so that others can glean information you convey, scrutinize it, and determine statuses against such words. Absolute relativism says, no, words are how I attempt to express meaning that authentically exists beyond words. It doesn't matter how relatively absolute your conclusion is because it's not absolutely relative to me or other people. So the thing is, you might say, well, Eric, you're simply applying your implicit frame of relative absolutism, and you'd be correct. The difference is this field of thing that we're talking about is appropriate for relative absolutism and inappropriate for absolute relativism. And that's why I'm right and you're wrong. Yes, Joseph, was an absolute joke. No, we do have a pet peacock. Well, it's not really a pet. It's a wild peacock that just hangs out with us all the time. It's not a pet. We don't own it. We just feed it twice a day. Once you, I don't know if he's out here or not. Is Peter around here? No. He's not here right now. He'll probably come back again before bedtime. He usually likes to come back for dinner, And a lot of times we just hang out on the back patio. Seems like to be around us. I don't know. So the thing is, it's a real point I'm making here, which is that when people, I have in this document articulated out, look, here are all of our implicit frames, and these are the things we keep getting in conflict about. No, I'm not critiquing you anymore. I'm not critiquing at all. I'm saying this is an example I want to extrapolate and talk about stuff about. Okay, so it's I do it too. I have a problem with doing it too. So it's like I'm constantly arguing my implicit frame of relative absolutism because it's my tool function, and or my frame of novelty, which is we need a new approach, a better approach. Meow, meow, meow. I mean, look, the thing is this. Joey, let me tell you about C.S. Joseph and the funny thing that happened in this ISFP video this morning. So the ISFP, I said, okay, well, I got your type. You're an ISFP. And she got him. She got him Winston's mom. Yeah. You are an ISFP. And she said, okay, well, that's funny because I've been typed twice before. One person typed me as an ESFP and one person typed me as an ISFJ. And I said, okay, well, ESFP is not a terrible mistyping. It's the same functions. It's like this. The thing is, it seems odd that you'd be mistyped as an ESFP because you're so clearly not extroverted. Like, the type that maybe is least likely to display their tool function as extroversion in an initial engagement is got to be ISFP. So it's reasonable to think you might mistype an ISFJ as an ESFJ. You might mistype INTP as an ENTP. It's a worse mistyping to mistype an ISFP as an ESFP, but still not a terrible mistyping. Same quadra, same SFPs, just extrovert, introvert. Okay, so that person kind of knows what they're doing. But I said, but whoever typed you as ISFJ knows absolutely nothing about cognitive functions. And she's like, it was I remember his name, C.S. Joseph. I was like, okay. He genuinely knows absolutely nothing about cognitive functions. He typed an obvious textbook ISFP, like as textbook as you can get, frankly. No extroverted intuition in the woman at all. Very little speaking. She got tired out of the whole thing at about 35 minutes, maybe in 30. She got tired out of the session a little faster than most ISFPs do. That's one thing that's so weirdly universal about ISFPs. When I do type an ISFP, they fill up of words at about 40 minutes. I also said under the frame you're announcing, intelligence can still exist in such a frame. Well, did you hear what I said about it? Because that's not a conclusion you could draw from what I said. You may dispute what I said, but it's not correct that you should draw that conclusion from what it says. It says here, words are absolute in their expression, but relative in their meaning. So whenever someone says something, those words have precise meanings in that context. They're unchanging meanings, just as the weight of a 1 pound brick is unchanging in that context. However, in another context, one might define the word differently, and thus offer that this time the brick is 2 pounds. So in other words, words inherently have are variables of a sort, and they're variables that can be defined for the purposes of an argument. However, the thing about intelligence is it's extremely difficult to talk about. Hi, Cameron.
You look very autumnal matchy. Yeah, so America.
I didn't plan on being Mr. America, but it's Mr. America Day.
I like it.
Isn't it Veterans Day?
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't think it's any holiday today.
It's not Veterans Day?
I don't know.
Isn't it Tuesday?
Oh my God, that's why the flag is like
Oh,
that.
maybe it is Veterans. Oh, it is Veterans.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
Veterans Day. You don't have to
Oh, it's Wednesday.
You know. Oh my gosh. But your dad, I didn't even say anything.
I didn't say anything either. I forgot it. I didn't. Why is it on a Wednesday?
But usually I'm in an elementary school and they're like, you have to know this.
When is?
I know.
When is?
Yeah, all
Is it
the
usually on
holidays
Wednesday?
actually.
So much. routinization of our future cultural citizens.
It's so good.
Do these holidays.
Yeah.
Kara has Jewish holidays. Like, can you imagine? Like, I've got my holidays, and like, she's got plenty of shit to do. She's got her own holidays, like regular holidays. She doesn't have time for that.
Catholic schools like that too. They have their own holidays also. Yeah. And in New York City schools, like in New York City public schools, they even have like the like Hindu days off. And like so Muslim, Chinese, Jewish, you know, and they have them all off. So basically there's no school.
That's a context where it really benefits you to be transracial. But look,
right?
Ooh, let me explain. Yeah. Let me just finish this argumentation. This should be the last bit of it, which is to say, you're saying you're saying intelligence is bounded under one context and the meaning does not change. But you're trying to say that the meaning does not change under any context. Essentially, you're saying intelligence is a real thing to be measured. Now, you could claim that the meaning of ounce or pound doesn't change functionally in any context, right? Like, so it's a much more defined word. Why? Because it's referential to a specific physical attribute. Physical attributes are implicit to physical objects, which is to say, the way we measure physical attribute, the way we measure an object is by attributes. The way we measure a process or a time object or durational object is by identity. In other words, we don't know that Mary had a little lamb is Mary had a little lamb because of how tall or wide or heavy or long or short it is. We know what it is because of its identity as an entity. So, okay, so that should sum it up. Big difference between something like Mary had a little lamb and intelligence. Now, much more like what you're comparing is much instead of something like Mary had a little lamb, which you can actually know. You're talking about something more like who's the most socially graceful schmoozer? Well, that involves a lot of different things. Or who's the most socially graceful person? That involves a lot of different subjective elements. It's not just an objective question, because after all, when you're choosing which metric to use to define intelligence, that's a subjective decision. So the Mensa group in Scandinavia wants to exclude NTPs. So they do a pure spatial pattern recognition intelligence test, which I score 107 on. I could come up with my intelligence test to try to exclude NTJs and required everybody to create a whole shit ton of generative stuff that's all super creative and novel and to be as divergent as possible in their thinking, to ignore an I entirely, etc. And then I could be the smartest person. But see, the only people who are pointless enough to do that are NTJs. Pointless enough and smart enough to do it, right? I am smart enough to make a test to prove that I'm smart, that everyone will buy into. And I'm dumb enough to do it.
I'm not taking that test.
Here's the test. How many bicycle tires have you repaired in the past month?
Oh my gosh!
If it's 0, you failed.
We did have 0 repaired, actually. We have failed.
You failed. And me, I've probably done like 6. No. I've probably done 9 in the past 30 days. Therefore, that's 1,000 IQ.
Wow.
Right. And I have 2 in the car for your bike. You guys don't have a bike.
Yay!
Maybe it fits your bike. I don't know if it does. It probably does.
I was wondering, do you have the glue stuff for the sweetness?
That was so snappy.
Cool. Well,
that's
whatever. I mean,
rhetoric. I want to clip that
but
shit.
Like, yeah, cool. Good. You have the bike's sweet.
You know, one of my favorite things to do is this.
But you're good at it, Eric.
He is.
You're the master of the way the words go, ordered just right. Other people can't even do that shit. You know, I can't.
No, I can't
I'm
either.
an NTJ or whatever.
No, you're an STJ. You're an STJ, Cameron.
Whatever it is, I don't know. I'm those letters.
You don't come around here and be pain in the ass arguer against me like Rafael Alvarez.
Oh.
Or
Eric, you're wrong, God darn it.
Or that other guy who was just arguing with ooh. What they call him. Winston's mom's a nice INTJ.
Yeah, she's very nice.
It's interesting if people would actually come to your like YouTube hangout to be right. I can
Yeah,
see
they
them
do.
clarifying something that's right.
Some people,
But to be right,
No, to be.
do people get the award? Is there like a gold star you give them? They're like, you were right on my channel. Bam!
What
kind
are you
of.
talking about?
I have a special award.
Kind of, I do.
Like names on the back wall of like people who have been right. It'd be like 3.
Okay, no, it'd be more. The thing is, I make a point of trying to trumpet every time I acknowledge when I'm wrong, so that people remember and it stands out, so that
That's
they
true,
can't
too.
accuse me of not admitting when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So I do have plenty of examples of people being right, and I typically do sort of give them a gold star and say,
Yeah.
"Okay, hold on, you were right, I was wrong." Meow, 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 meow.
Because in like the 90s, Snoop Doggy Dogg declared that you got to give respect to get respect. We learned this from Snoop Doggy Dogg
Okay,
and others.
I have like gossip on him.
What's the gossip?
Really?
Apparently, now this is only gossip.
Just gossip, just rumor. We're not claiming it's true necessarily.
His wife is chaste, or right?
Chased?
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's wife is chased?
And
Yeah,
he gets to fuck whoever he wants. But she
You
can't,
mean she can't have sex?
like, if he's not around, yeah.
She doesn't want it anyway? Because is that why she's chased or what?
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
Well, Snoop Dogg for a long time went he for a period of time after his rap career, he went around and like filmed porn movies. He didn't star in them. He didn't star in them, but he directed them.
There you go. Yeah. So his
He's
wife,
an SFP.
His wife, yeah.
For sure.
His wife, like, she like has had his children and everything and stuff, but it's in a contract that she's 0 and he whoever. I guess if you want the money.
So the thing is this. We finally found an ESFP artist that I think we want to try this stuff. That's
Yeah.
What do you remember what it's called?
Fire and something.
Oh, that smells like good weed. I've had my weed. I'm weed depressed, Eric.
It's
Yo,
this too.
we
You can put that on top of your
Seriously,
bowl
I've
if
had
you want it.
shitty weed. In fact, I need to talk to you guys about it, but
I went back to
no,
Weed
you
Mart.
really should talk about it.
I went back to the Weed Mart. Are you talking about herbarium?
What I was going to say is that I get multiple weeds, I grind them together, and then I got to where, let's say it's nighttime, and I want to smoke a lot of bowls because I'm going to go to sleep. I want to smoke like at least 3 or 4 bowls. In the day, I could smoke 2 bowls, that'd be fine. But I would wake up with a hangover, like a head, like I feel
that
stoned.
sucks.
And I literally haven't been smoking until noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m. I like to smoke at 8 in the morning.
Yeah, me
But
too.
my fucking head's been clogged, and I'm curious which weed it is. I have them in the car if you guys want to see. But it's like I think I labeled a piece of blue tape, AA, BB, CC, DD, and I was gonna tear it, and I was gonna take it and stick it on the bottle, stick it on a little grinding, the tube, and I was gonna try each one like
You might as
methodically
well.
and know which one it is. And I'm gonna be like, hey, do you guys want this weed?
That's funny. Like, hey, have you tried this for yourself?
Like, okay, I'm on this bowl, so I'll hold
Yeah.
off on yours for a minute.
Definitely.
But, so did you guys wind up with clogged ass weed too, or?
Well, we were very disappointed with the last weed we got at Herbarium, and their prices went up some. It's like their ounces that used to be like 120 or like 146 now or something,
Yeah.
and so typically, I thought, okay, well, you can get the most bang for your buck down there at Herbarium because the half ounces we get at Weed Mart are 120, and for an ounce we can get fitting a little bit more than an ounce in at Herbarium. But the last weed we got, we burned through it so fast. It was so much less stony than this weed, and it was coffee as well. So coffee. So we're just like, fuck it, we're gonna have to go back to Nyat.
Okay. And so it costs more, but you for sure are getting. Well, also you don't have to drive for 2 hours.
That's true.
See,
It is like
yourself.
a close to 2 hour round trip.
I mean, if there's something else you like to do over there, it's cool. Like, I would go over there if I like took Kara to her doctor's appointment, which is already halfway there. And in which case, I'm like, no, I'm not hanging out. I've got something to do. And then it just worked out where I didn't lose any time. In fact, it was better than sitting around waiting for her. So
that makes sense.
But I'd rather drive down to Temple City or wherever, Arcadia or something, whatever city that is right there.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of going to cities, right now in the car, not only do I have potential bicycle tires and tubes for you, I have a scooter that works, and I have an e-bike that works.
Cool.
Even if we didn't fix your bike,
Yeah,
we
that's
could all
what.
go in the sunlight if you wanted to cruise or whatever, or not. It's all cool to me.
Yeah.
I'm down to do whatever. I'm down to do whatever, just like I never forgot how we went there that time. Like, so you got, where were we talking about? Would be cool to go with those things? Oh, that's kind of far away for maybe this late in the day. But we went to Vasquez Rocks yesterday.
Oh, is that the ones like off the 210, 118 sort of?
Yeah, it's on the way to Palmdale, not quite all the way to Palmdale.
It's like big, tall stuff next to a horse riding thing.
There are these rocks that are like it looks like the Lion King rocks. In fact, probably I want to Google this. Did the Lion King animators go to Vasquez Rocks?
Does it really look like it?
Lion King animators. I probably never would have noticed it, but of course that's exactly the sort of thing that Rachel always goes, oh, look at that. Blah, 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 blah. Looks just like that.
I'm glad you know what I'm referencing at least.
Vasquez.
I know the Lion King is just something that's for kids, so I've never watched it, but I'm always like, oh yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. The Lion King Pride Rock was inspired by a formation of Vasquez Rocks.
Oh my gosh!
You absolutely fucking nailed it with the NI issue.
Wow, thank you.
Wow. It wouldn't have occurred to me, even though as soon as she said it, I was like, yeah, it does look an awful lot like it. I'll put the link here.
Take any pictures?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. We got some good ones.
Curious to see what you.
I'll show you right now.
Because there were these rocks. I was going to like buy cars a year ago, and I went by these giant rocks, but I don't think it was called that. Damn, what the freaking names? Stony Point, maybe? Are there rocks called Stony Point? There are these.
As soon as I go there, a rock becomes Stony Point.
Pretty much everywhere I go.
Time to pull balls and make the rock christened as my own. You are now Stony Point 74.
It's like 40 miles west of here.
I don't know. I've never been to Stony Point.
Yeah, the word is word.
Word.
And in 1990 or 1991, one of those years, early 90s, yo became an official word of the dictionary.
Really?
Yeah.
For that, I will say word is born, G. Because that's what our word actually stands for. Word is born, G. Is the full.
Word is bond.
Word is bone. It was from New York, right?
Word is bond, though. The word,
Bond.
yeah, it may sound like the same born, but it's bond.
No, yeah, it's pronounced bond.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So, palabra. That's Spanish for word. And that's a wonderful way that you can spice up your youth vernacular. Instead of saying word up, say palabra up. There's a clever life hack.
Palabra.
I like that. 10 clever life hacks. Do it in French. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Un, deux, trois. That's it.
You failed.
I'm also considering.
Un, deux.
There's no un. Un is more like.
Un is un. Yeah.
Listen.
I studied.
I just had a great idea for a book. I want to write a book of English phrases you practice for when you go to Mexico.
That's good.
So it doesn't translate them into Spanish, mind you. It's just English phrases to keep in mind when you go to Mexico, such as. No, see, that's Spanish. The book I'm going to have is only going to be written entirely in English. It's just going to be single phrases for you to remember when you're in Mexico, such as, is that burro for sale? Or hey, can you point me to a good Mexican restaurant? What do you mean you don't speak English? Things like that, you know.
I've got one. Honey, can you hand me that translation book? That could be the title of the whole.
No, it'll be, honey, throw that translation book away.
These are the only words we need to
No
know.
hablo, no inglés, español. I like to use French whenever possible. If I can ever say something in French, I think it just adds like extra class to my whole aura. Like it makes my aura turn a bit more like a light color.
I see Eric as a stand-up comedian.
Do you like to ask people what time it is in French? Do you say quelle heure est-il?
It's like the damn
That's so feeling-y. That is so feeling-y. There's so much feeling in that.
Well, you have to act like there's
They would hate
romance
me.
and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak more?
Je parle français. Je parle un peu de français.
Mm-hmm.
Mademoiselle. What else do you say? Like there's. How do you say? Have you been eating? What's eating in French? Because we know fromage. This is full on Strauss.
I don't know
taken
eating in
French.
French.
I've only taken
I know
Spanish.
Spanish a lot better than French. It's funny because my parents speak French to each other around the house, but sometimes just to like make it so I couldn't hear them or something. Or, I don't know, but I never really learned it.
My grandma would talk in Italian so that we wouldn't know. We always knew when she was cursing because she would say, "Don't listen."
Nice.
Yeah, I bet you could make a pretty funny, like just maybe 20-page book with this designed to actually stretch out to like 40 pages by making it formatted kind of like with pictures and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay. And then it has like, 10 different countries and it's just English phrases to remember when you visit these countries.
That is fantastic.
Like, like for Japan, I'd be like, hey, where's one of those pagoda-y looking things?
Where are the funny little trees?
Oh
I want to take one home.
Go things.
So this weed, it smelled just like I would want to buy it. Okay, when you used to be able to smell weeds like 3 years ago, like this is just what I like. It has this like I was near something that was moldy, sort of. Not that I'm moldy, but like it's just like this aftertaste of maybe my cousin's moldy.
Cameron has this very connoisseur particular like he's not going to afford any weed that's not hitting on all of his metrics excessively high marks. He's gonna make sure that he reserves his real high marks for the real winners out there. He's said this to me before. The terms he uses don't refer to the same terms I use for the same thing. Sometimes like he thinks something is grassy. I might not call that grassy. I might use a different name for it. I'm not sure.
Earthy.
When you say moldy, I mean I don't know what you exactly mean. It's like to me it's not necessarily the best tasting weed because it's kind of heavy.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's strong.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
strong.
give it a super thumbs up in the strongness. Well, also I poured a drop of that.
Oh, that stuff is flowery.
Yes,
Okay,
it is so flowery.
That could totally change.
I don't like
sweet.
the floweriness of that very much.
It's sweet.
I like it that it gets you high, but it's too perfumey.
It is.
You
It
know?
tastes
I don't want to smoke your Shalimar
like
perfume, lady.
banana strawberry or something.
Just smoking half of that bowl, my head is already as high as I get smoking.
That's
a couple
good.
of my stuff.
I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you. I'm all about the bang for the buck.
We
Better
are
to pay twice as
too.
much. You should pay twice as much if you're getting twice as good weed. If you're going from like 9% to 22%.
Thank
no,
you. Like
something
easy.
like
That's
that.
what we thought we were getting. Nope.
Yeah.
Bacon, it's just not possible because look, knowing functions are harder to test than Deliberation functions. Action functions are harder to test than deliberation functions, but extroverted intuition is easier to test in that way than extroverted sensing. Some of them, like, and then you're talking about like interface functions, those are really hard to test because you really need a dynamic system to watch people interfacing with them. And all these like static question things we're asking are just approximations that hope to get to it. Who is that? That's Cameron. It's my ISTJ friend, Cameron. We're going to go electric
scootering and e-biking, and then Eric is probably going to whip our ass with his manual bike.
I'm going to have
Eric
my manual.
is a machine. I don't know if you guys know it. Eric is the bike machine.
He makes it look easy.
Even when I was in good shape, Eric just goes out, he can like smoke 3 packs of cigarettes and not eat for 3 days, and you get on his bike and like rip ass uphill. Faster than my electric vehicles. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks for saying so, Cameron. I'm not accustomed to getting SE praise.
Dude, I've showed up at your house.
Thank you,
time
McPhee.
you got like a saw in your hand. You're like cutting wood.
Yeah.
Like I would take a picture each time.
And Cameron comes in and is like, okay, what do we got going on here? This is a bit of a mess. I'm like, oh God, Cameron's here. Cameron, I started this thing and I cut up all these things and it's I don't. And he goes, okay, all right, let's take a look. Let's take a look.
I think when I have personal those, like I spend. People would be like, yeah, Cam takes his time to say something. No, it's because I'm always going through my head, saying like, okay, how do I not fuck it up? How do I not insult someone? How do I help a person and not say something totally rude and mean and terrible? Not just to you, to any and every person.
But I want to point out to everybody here, Cameron's very comfortable here in this environment. He's familiar. He knows me. He's known me for a long time. He knows Rachel. We get along. We all get along and everything. Yeah. I suspect that if you're thinking he seems kind of extroverted for an ISTJ, that in less comfortable or at least less familiar situations, he's probably a little more quiet.
I'm way more quiet, but I'm used to turning it on because
school teaching.
It's not that I'm trying to turn it on with you guys. I like you guys, you know. But if I'm at a job or something, my goal is to be invited back and be considered the best. So I'm not going to be a shy kid in the corner of the party and not know what to say to somebody, which is what I have had happen at the party every time before I leave. Before I go sit in the car or whatever, just leave.
Well, you know what? I don't think Kara.
Irish exit.
I don't think that Kara is considering very much your.
I've been known to do that too.
Your feelings of choosing parties to go to.
We kind of, going to parties with her. She's just like hyper social and already knows everybody and has already been to coffee with everybody there. So for her, all she has to do is go there, and then there's a lot of people who want to talk to her.
Yeah, sure.
For me, I'm like, hey, like, who are you? I'm friends with everyone else. So it's like, okay, now I prove how cool I am because I play with saws, like, or...
Kara's an ESFP, by the way.
That's not very interesting to most people.
Really? I feel like I know people who...
Huh?
But this is the thing. I will pretend to have appropriate social skills during my job. I will say things that are totally appropriate, but I'm not going to say it in my off time. Fuck that. I'm not trying to pretend.
Good.
If I wanted to pretend, I would leave. I go, bye-bye.
Yeah,
I can't pretend unless I'm getting paid. If I'm getting paid, I can pretend pretty good.
Aaron's a scooter
That
machine.
makes sense.
MC McPhee, are you a scooter machine? Are you scooting everywhere you go? Scooting everywhere you go. Scooting down Scotland's Ivory Road. MC McPhee, are you a scooter?
McCooter.
Are you a dangling waddle coot? How about you, David Sanderson? Are you a dangling waddle coot? Are you a dangling waddle coot?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Then probably not.
Ooh, I'm like number 5.
If you are one, then it's pretty obvious you are. Intelligence can be identified in all objects by the fact they are objects.
What?
What?
I like to introduce myself as, like, I just say, sup.
Sip.
What's that
Sip.
type? The guy who like goes to the party and is like, babe,
ESTP.
ESTP, because you've talked about it. I like hearing about this one. Who's just like, babe. And then she just comes over and hops on his motorcycle. Like, they just met. So, like, the sup is my version of
Right.
babe.
Winston's mom, that's actually a dangling waddle coot. WADDLECOOT. One word. Dangling waddle coot. Dangler, sometimes call it.
Cute.
Coot.
Yeah, definitely people
The
think
DQ.
my type is boring. Darren Seabrits. You're correct. Grown-up type. I don't know, Joey. Not
Cameron's,
for me.
I guess, I don't know. Cameron, are you more of a grown up than me? I think you are kind of, but
I feel like the same person as when I was 16. I haven't gone through any maturing in adulthood. If anything, I would have matured a little and then like deflated and gotten back to being like 16. So
Yeah.
I can do responsible things, but like I don't know when my credit card bills due. I pay it, but like I don't know when stuff is. I don't know. I don't just do whatever I want most of the time.
yeah. I agree with you, Oliver
No,
Lyndon.
but,
Type
like, I
descriptions.
feel it too.
Type descriptions for SI DOMs in general. Type descriptions are whack MCs that act like a clown, as per the Beastie Boys classic song, whatever it was.
I think INTJs can be like that too, but try not to be, I think.
I totally want to cut that section where I just like INTJs are the only type that's smart enough to make an IQ test and only type dumb enough to do it.
Oh
It's
man.
a great quote. It's a really good quote. I have this argument with people all the time. It's like there's some people, they just care so much about IQ, and I keep trying to explain it's not what you think it is, and they just don't listen to me.
That.
I do.
From my understanding, IQ isn't even supposed to be considered much anymore for. I mean, it hasn't been able to be the sole assessment to determine anything like eligibility for special education, eligibility for a certain diagnosis or whatever. It's just one of many tools, but from what I've heard, it's been deemed like culturally inappropriate and stuff like that.
Those fucking objections are stupid as fuck. Like culturally inappropriate. I don't like the fact that these populations are getting lower scores than these populations. Well, their lines you're drawing around those populations are totally arbitrary anyway. So who fucking cares? But besides which, that doesn't indicate there's anything wrong with the test. A good test will successfully distinguish those students who do better on the test than those who do worse on the test. Even a mediocre test will do that. It certainly is not an indication that the test is bad, that somebody meows the meow. Is that you too, Cameron?
Yeah, it's some other
Wolf Warrior USA Sierra Madre, South California. Wow.
Yeah,
I like that.
I developed a new YouTube. I thought I would get popular on a different thing, which I'm not.
Are you going to take animal videos or what?
No, it's that expensive scooter that I bought, the one I was going to flip, but just came with the friggin' stripped axle, and I'm just like having my mind cut out for months. It's supposed to be the baddest scooter on the planet, so I was going to make a channel and do some mods and stuff, but the thing's a piece of garbage. I'm disappointed right now.
I'm sorry to hear that, Cameron.
It's okay. It'll be solved. I'm just trying to get the best solution from dealing with the Alibaba individuals, which can be a challenge.
That's a good cue, Winston's mom. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, Winston's mom included, who spent years as an Air Force fighter pilot in the invasion of what was that? Was that place that we invaded a long time ago that was weird to invade? Grenada? Yeah. Winston's mom was a fighter pilot in Grenada. I don't remember. I don't actually know what Winston's mom did in the military, but she's a veteran. So happy Veterans Day, Winston's mom. I'll give you the textbook. Thank you for your service. Although when I said that to my dad, he just sort of rolled my eyes at me and was like, okay. He doesn't.
My dad had a pretty antisocial attitude toward the military since he had been an aerographer in the Navy, but he was going to be drafted, so he enlisted. It made for like a better position, but it's not like I had an image at my home that was like, yes, the military is a great proud thing and we're great and comrades. Nothing like that. It was like, oh no, I was scared shitless and had my life stolen from me, and what he didn't express is probably had PTSD and alcohol, excessive alcohol used to deal with the demons and stuff like that. So and my uncle got hooked on some sort of pills, pain pills, because he had to something about
Also demons.
doing the hand.
Did he successfully slay the demons with the alcohol and the other substance?
Yeah, alcohol did its maximum job in my dad's case. Yeah.
But I watched the most fucking. You probably don't want to watch, given that history. This movie, The Way Back with Ben Affleck, came out in January 2020, I think. But it is a very emotionally intense movie for somebody like me who was a functioning alcoholic, like the character in the movie, for some time, and dealing with the immense challenges associated with that. So I just want to say one more thing about the intelligence thing. Is this? It is the case that there's a dimness that goes along with people who are in special education that links to some sort of cognitive problem that seems to suggest an overall. It seems to suggest an overall thing, right?
All right. So we actually got a video conference, but we can't look in because they only give us one address.
Okay.
And it's set. I just checked everything, and they don't know. Anyway, so what we're going to do is save the letter that I showed you as Plan B.
Okay.
The conference is the 17th.
Okay.
1:30. I've emailed, talked to the very nice lady. Come on, no, you don't want to. Thank you.
I think the cat was going to go inside.
Hey, David.
She listens. Oh,
There
there
you
you are. All right, we heard the information.
Okay, yeah.
That we do have a video conference.
But only one screen to do it on is what you're saying?
Well, no, we just got a letter before that they wanted to do some other stuff. But then I got an email from Dr. Toffel's office that they're going to have this. She set it up, and I checked with the appointment center, and that's kosher, so we're good on it. But I have this is the third time we've been through this. I've got two failures of this video conference that didn't work out. And I've had one with Dr. Ching that didn't work out.
Yeah.
But Toffel, I like Dr. Toffel. She's on top of stuff.
Good. So they do the secretary for Ching is the same as the secretary for Toffel. Like they're in the same, they share an office. So the cool thing about that is she probably more naturally linked into taking over Ching's patients.
Well, no, because they said that other Dr. Haifang Fungogu is
Dr. Haifang Fungogu is a doctor that is a fallback option now for us.
Maybe the third guy that we had, actually, this would be the fourth doctor. There was a Dr. Brochard, a Dr. Toffel, Dr. Ching, and then this funny guy, Tonga, whatever this other guy's name is. So,
It's something like Fet Tet, some Vietnamese name.
whatever.
Thank you, Dad. I appreciate you letting me know.
That's a comedy.
You're a communitarian. I only eat communities. That's a good quote too, Carmen's pen. We got a couple of nice quotables here. So I don't remember what I was saying.
IQ,
Oh yeah.
something like that.
Oh yeah, then in special education and
All right, thank you, Cameron.
Individuals, whatever.
Thank you, S.I. Dom, for saving the day with your memory. So the thing is, oh, cool. Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
The difference between somebody who's in like there's a concrete and real bright line difference between somebody who is in special ed because they have mental disabilities and somebody who is in special ed because they're in the gifted program. Okay. So like the thing is, it is true that overall capacity to intelligently interact with the universe can be clearly diminished when there's something specific going on. Or there may be something we don't really know what it is, but there's something going on, you know? So, no, it's not that everyone is as intelligent as everyone else. It's that just as Big Five is a TE failure to understand personality, IQ is a TE failure to understand intelligence. No, IQ test measures how well you correlate with various empirical links that they correlated with the results on the IQ test. It's that specific. It's absolute. You're right. But it's that narrow. To try to pretend it's something else is to lie to yourself.
The thing is, there are people who can't do any math at all. Terrible at math. And they also can't spell or write paragraphs. But they're very successful people, and you wouldn't necessarily know it. And who knows? What if those people had a lower IQ, but their social IQ? Okay, is there such a thing as a social IQ? Because
that's usually called EQ, but see, even that needs to be distinguished better than it currently is. So, he says intelligence means objective. No, it doesn't. I can use an objective calculus and be wrong. I can use an objective calculus easily and naturally or slowly. Either way, the objectivity means using a disinterested calculus. It doesn't mean anything, whatever crazy nonsense you think it means. You just say meow, you're meowing me. I'm meowing, and that's just as much meow as I want to have in my meow.
Time to take a bong rip.
So I'm gonna take a bong rip. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna go on a ride. Rachel's gonna take the one of the electric things. Cam's gonna ride the other electric thing. I'm gonna ride my bicycle because I got a very tall bicycle. The reason it's like how it is, as Cameron says, is because I'm tall and have a very tall bicycle. It's pretty efficient. So
call him the machine.
He is.
Intelligence is required for a thing to be an object? Are you fucking serious? Is this intelligent? I mean, come on.
What's going on? Who's saying?
I just fail less spectacularly.
Oh,
all right.
She's running around in the backyard.
She's not making herself available for photography right now. She's a bit of a prima donna.
Yeah. She's on her excursion. You know how like models go on like fancy excursions in jungles?
Calendar.
Yeah, that's what she's
doing. You gotta wear a
doing.
leopard with a leopard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
Be on an elephant. Imagine like riding an elephant with a thong. You would freaking be in so much pain. But that looks all sexy on the swimsuit calendar.
And that's what PP does. There she is. She's prancing around.
IQ test measures power or leverage, I think.
Cactuses.
Well,
she has cactuses.
I already measured what I
would be like.
Yeah. I got him. Yeah.
I don't.
How the heck did she
I don't
do
know. I
that?
don't understand how she does it.
We have one that's growing with the aloe plants, like
I get
over
another
there.
one of those
And,
poos. We
it's
have
like
an
one of the
argue,
yellow, really
but
prickly ones.
leave shoes
They hurt
on
so
my
much.
floor.
There are things that don't even look like it.
Definitely playing for the more.
Yeah, it's good. We're gonna go out with like some light.
Well, everybody, thanks for being here. Don't get
Yeah.
any plenties. Don't forget to rock and or roll, but not both. And David Sanderson in the house. Thanks for being here as well. Cameron's not an INFJ. Cameron is an ISTJ.
Go
Yeah.
STJs.
He's that most useful of all cognitive functions. Expert at thinking.
Yes.
He actually knows how to do shit.
Yes,
Gets
he
it
does.
done. He doesn't have 10 ways of doing the same one thing. He has one way of doing it.
The best way.
The best
I've already
way.
done the 10 ways.
He's tried all of them. He figured out the right one, and he's going with that now. All right. So later days and better ways.
All right.
Peace out, veterans.
Witches.